There is a fire within you, a divine flame placed in your spirit even before you were born. It is not a fire of chaos or destruction, but a fire of purpose, power, and destiny. This fire distinguishes you, marks you, and prepares you for the unique assignment that only you can fulfill on this earth. Not everyone carries it, and not everyone recognizes it, but those who do are called to rise above the ordinary, to shine in the midst of darkness, and to walk boldly in alignment with God's plan. The question is, are you aware of this fire? Do you feel its warmth, its pull, its urgency? Haven't subscribed yet? Join us now and stay in faith. Many of us go through life unaware that we were born for more than comfort, convenience, or conformity. But there are signs, subtle yet undeniable, that reveal whether you were chosen, marked, and empowered for a spiritual assignment. In this message, we will uncover the 7 signs that indicate your life was designed for a higher purpose. We will also explore the 4 types of God's fire you must carry to fulfill that calling. Pay attention closely, because this is not just a message. It is a revelation that could ignite your destiny and awaken the fire within you. Number 1. Deep sense of purpose from a young age. From the earliest moments of life, some souls carry within them a deep sense of purpose that cannot be ignored. It is not simply ambition or curiosity, but a quiet, unshakable knowing that life has meaning beyond what can be seen or measured. Those who are born with a spiritual assignment often sense that their existence is tied to something far greater than the ordinary paths of life. Even as children, they may feel restless with routine, uncomfortable with conformity, and drawn toward experiences that awaken a sense of destiny. This inner pull is subtle but persistent. It may manifest as curiosity about the mysteries of life, a desire to help others, or an unexplainable awareness that their choices carry weight beyond themselves. It is a call to something higher, a voice that whispers in the depths of their spirit that they were created for significance. This deep sense of purpose shapes thoughts, decisions, and behaviors long before the world recognizes the assignment. It cannot be manufactured or taught, and it often exists quietly, unnoticed by those around them. The child may feel different, isolated, or misunderstood because the ordinary measures of success and satisfaction do not resonate with their inner awareness. School, play, and even friendships may feel fleeting compared to the stirring of purpose within. Many who carry this calling describe a restlessness in their hearts, a longing for experiences and knowledge that will allow them to fulfill the greater plan written into their lives before they were born. It is as though God placed a compass within them, pointing steadily toward a destination only they can reach. The awareness of a divine purpose is often accompanied by an innate sense of responsibility. These individuals feel accountable not merely to themselves or society, but to the one who set them apart. They are conscious of the impact their actions have on the world, even when the full scope of their assignment is not yet revealed. Decisions are rarely casual, and moments of hesitation are often met with an inner conviction that directs them toward alignment with their calling. This sense of responsibility does not weigh them down, but rather sharpens their focus, strengthens their resolve, and cultivates resilience. It instills in them a recognition that their life is not a series of random events, but a tapestry woven with divine intention. Scripture reminds us in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you." This verse resonates profoundly with those who carry a deep sense of purpose from a young age. The awareness that God has known them, set them apart, and consecrated them for a specific task provides both comfort and motivation. It affirms that the feelings of restlessness, the early intuitions, and the inner stirrings are not illusions or coincidence. They are evidence of a calling that has existed long before earthly life began, a fire ignited by the Creator to guide the individual toward fulfillment of their divine assignment. As life progresses, the awareness of purpose becomes more refined and focused. Childhood intuition develops into deliberate pursuit. Curiosity transforms into strategy, and restlessness becomes intentional action. Those who are attuned to their calling begin to recognize patterns in life that confirm their path. Opportunities appear in alignment with their purpose. Encounters with others serve as catalysts for growth, and even challenges are revealed as lessons designed to strengthen the fire within. The deep sense of purpose provides clarity in moments of uncertainty, guidance in times of confusion, and resilience when opposition arises. It is a compass, a light, and a shield that equips the soul to navigate life with confidence, even when the journey seems daunting or unclear. The early awareness of a calling also fosters a natural inclination toward introspection and reflection. Individuals with this gift often ponder the meaning of their experiences, the consequences of their choices, and the impact of their lives on others. They are drawn to contemplation, prayer, and moments of solitude because these spaces allow them to listen to the voice guiding their steps. The sense of purpose is not merely about achieving goals or attaining recognition, but about fulfilling a divine design that transcends personal ambition. It requires patience, obedience, and trust in a process that may not always be visible or immediate. This inner life, cultivated from a young age, prepares them for the responsibilities and challenges of their spiritual assignment. A deep sense of purpose also manifests in the way these individuals perceive the world. They see connections where others see randomness, meaning where others see chance, and potential where others see limitation. Their vision is expansive, and their aspirations are often larger than their current circumstances. This perspective sets them apart, and it can sometimes create feelings of isolation or misunderstanding. Yet it is precisely this awareness that drives them forward, compelling them to seek alignment with the divine plan and to act in ways that contribute to a greater good. Life for them is never ordinary because every experience, every encounter, and every challenge is imbued with significance. The presence of this inner fire does not guarantee ease or comfort. In fact, those born with a spiritual assignment often face trials that test their resolve, refine their character, and deepen their awareness of purpose. Opposition may arise from external sources, and internal doubts may challenge their confidence. Yet the deep sense of purpose acts as a stabilizing force. It reminds them that every obstacle is temporary, every difficulty is a lesson, and every moment is an opportunity to move closer to the fulfillment of their divine calling. The fire within guides them to persevere, to trust, and to act in alignment with the assignment placed in their spirit. It is important to recognize and nurture this sense of purpose from a young age. The awareness of calling should be embraced, not dismissed as mere imagination or fanciful thinking. Mentorship, guidance, and prayerful support can help cultivate clarity, confidence, and discernment. As the individual grows, intentional efforts to understand their gifts, explore their passions, and align actions with divine guidance are essential. Every step taken in faith, obedience, and clarity strengthens the flame within and prepares them for the greater assignment that awaits. Ultimately, the deep sense of purpose from a young age is a mark of being chosen. It is evidence that the Creator has placed a divine assignment within the soul, a task that only this individual can accomplish. It is a flame that must be recognized, nurtured, and protected, because it is the driving force behind every spiritual encounter, every challenge overcome, and every impact made in the world. Those who carry this fire are called to embrace it fully, to follow its guidance unwaveringly, and to trust that each step aligns with the purpose for which they were consecrated. The journey may be demanding, the path may be unclear at times, but the fire within will never lead astray. It is the compass of destiny, the light of guidance, and the mark of a life set apart for extraordinary purpose. Number 2. Unexplainable spiritual encounters. From a young age, some individuals experience encounters that cannot be explained by ordinary reasoning. These moments are often fleeting, subtle, yet profound, leaving an impression that resonates long after the event has passed. They may appear as dreams that feel more real than waking life, visions that carry messages, or a sense of presence that cannot be attributed to anyone in the natural realm. Those who are born with a spiritual assignment often find themselves crossing paths with the unseen world, sensing guidance, warnings, or reassurance that cannot be dismissed as coincidence. These experiences serve as markers, indicators that their life is intricately connected to a divine plan and that they are not walking alone. Unexplainable spiritual encounters take many forms, and they are rarely predictable. Some may feel a warm, comforting presence in times of fear or uncertainty. Others may witness events that defy logic or experience signs that point unmistakably to a higher purpose. There are encounters that come in the quiet moments when the mind is still and the heart is open. These experiences often provide clarity, direction, and affirmation that the path they are on is aligned with their calling. The presence felt or the insight received often leaves the individual with a heightened sense of awareness, a sensitivity to the spiritual realm that grows over time. It is important to recognize that these encounters are not random. They are intentional and serve a purpose. God uses these moments to communicate, to guide, and to strengthen the faith of those He has called. They are often tailored to the individual, designed to awaken understanding or confirm decisions that align with their spiritual assignment. While the experiences may initially cause confusion or wonder, over time, they reveal patterns that demonstrate the deliberate orchestration of God's hand. These encounters are not meant to cause fear, but to cultivate trust, deepen insight, and encourage obedience. Some of the most profound spiritual encounters happen in moments of vulnerability. Times of prayer, reflection, or solitude often open the heart to the unseen. Those who are attuned to their spiritual assignment may feel the presence of angels, hear a quiet voice guiding them, or receive a sudden understanding of events around them. The spiritual realm often intersects with the natural in ways that are subtle but unmistakable. It may manifest as a sense of peace in a storm, clarity amidst confusion, or the timely appearance of someone who provides the guidance they needed. These moments affirm that their life is under divine supervision, and that the spiritual assignment they carry is being nurtured, protected, and revealed gradually. It is common for those who experience unexplainable encounters to feel a heightened sensitivity to the energy around them. They may notice subtle shifts in mood, feel the presence of others even when no one is visible, or sense danger before it arrives. This heightened awareness is part of the preparation for their spiritual calling. It equips them to discern truth from deception, to recognize opportunities for alignment with God's will, and to navigate the challenges that accompany a life set apart. The ability to perceive beyond the physical world is not a burden, but a tool, a gift meant to enhance their understanding, sharpen their insight, and guide their steps in alignment with divine intention. Scripture teaches in 1 Kings 19:12, "And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire, a gentle whisper." This verse illustrates that God's communication often comes in unexpected forms, sometimes subtle and quiet, yet profoundly powerful. Those who carry a spiritual assignment learn to attune themselves to these whispers, recognizing that guidance does not always come in dramatic or obvious ways. The gentle, unexplainable encounters are as important as the grand visions. They prepare the heart, direct the mind, and strengthen the spirit to respond in alignment with God's plan. These encounters also serve as a form of affirmation. Life is full of distractions, doubts, and challenges that can obscure understanding of one's calling. Unexplainable spiritual moments reassure the individual that they are on the right path, that their decisions, sacrifices, and efforts are recognized and guided by God. They provide a sense of companionship in a journey that may often feel solitary. The presence experienced in these moments is a reminder that the spiritual assignment is both protected and nurtured. It is a quiet encouragement that persistence, faith, and obedience will be rewarded, and that the fire within is real, active, and growing. For some, these encounters may come with visions or dreams that require interpretation. They may reveal a future event, provide insight into relationships, or clarify decisions. The symbolism and meaning often require reflection and spiritual discernment to fully understand. Yet the impact is immediate, leaving the heart and mind more attuned to the divine rhythm of life. Those born with a spiritual assignment learn to pay attention to these signs, to study their experiences, and to apply the lessons in practical ways. Each encounter, no matter how brief or mysterious, is a piece of the larger puzzle of their destiny. It is also important to approach these experiences with humility and discernment. Not every unusual experience is from God, and those who are sensitive to the spiritual realm must learn to distinguish between divine guidance and other influences. Prayer, meditation on the Word, and seeking counsel from trusted spiritual mentors help to clarify the messages and strengthen understanding. The goal is not to chase supernatural experiences for their own sake, but to allow them to guide, strengthen, and illuminate the spiritual assignment entrusted to them. Over time, unexplainable spiritual encounters cultivate faith and resilience. They teach the individual to trust the unseen, to act on conviction, and to recognize that life is orchestrated by a higher power. These encounters foster intimacy with God and develop a deeper awareness of purpose. They serve as milestones along the journey of fulfilling a spiritual assignment, reminding the individual that they are never alone and that divine support is always present. The experiences also cultivate patience, as understanding the full significance often unfolds gradually over time. Ultimately, those who experience unexplainable spiritual encounters come to understand that life is larger than the physical realm. They recognize that they are part of a divine narrative, that their steps are guided, and that their calling is protected. The encounters are a gift, a form of communication, and a source of affirmation. They strengthen faith, clarify purpose, and empower action. They remind the individual that they were chosen for a specific task, that God is actively involved in their journey, and that the fire within them is both real and eternal. Unexplainable spiritual encounters are not meant to overwhelm, but to awaken. They are invitations to step fully into the calling for which one was born. Those who carry these experiences learn to trust, to act with courage, and to navigate life with an awareness that the unseen realm is as real as the physical. They cultivate sensitivity to God's guidance, recognition of divine patterns, and a confidence that comes from knowing they are never walking alone. In this way, the unexplainable encounters become a constant source of strength, clarity, and assurance, preparing the individual to fulfill their spiritual assignment with conviction, faith, and unwavering purpose. Number 3, high sensitivity to energy and the spirit realm. Some individuals are born with an innate awareness that extends beyond the physical world. They sense energies, detect emotions before they are spoken, and perceive the presence of spiritual forces in ways that others cannot. This heightened sensitivity is not a weakness, but a gift, a sign that their spirit is finely attuned to realms unseen. Those who carry a spiritual assignment often experience this awareness as a natural part of their existence. They notice when the atmosphere shifts, feel unease in the presence of hidden negativity, and are drawn towards spaces and people that resonate with light, truth, and purpose. It is as if their soul carries an internal compass, guiding them through spiritual realities that remain invisible to the majority. This sensitivity manifests in many ways. Some feel the weight of emotions in a room before anyone speaks. Others notice subtle signs of spiritual activity that may appear as physical sensations, intuitive thoughts, or vivid impressions. They may experience a sense of heaviness in the presence of malevolent intent or a sudden lift of peace when divine influence is near. The ability to perceive these energies provides guidance and protection. It equips them to respond to situations with clarity, to avoid dangers they may not understand in natural terms, and to move in alignment with their spiritual purpose. Awareness of the unseen realm is both a shield and a tool, enabling them to navigate life with discernment and precision. High sensitivity to spiritual realities requires careful cultivation. Those who carry this gift must learn to differentiate between impressions that originate from God, from themselves, or from other spiritual influences. Discernment becomes essential because the ability to sense is only valuable when it leads to wise action. This discernment is developed through prayer, meditation on Scripture, and alignment with God's guidance. The Bible reminds us in 1 Corinthians 2:14 that the natural man cannot understand the things of the Spirit of God. The spiritually sensitive, however, are called to walk in heightened awareness, to learn to perceive what is invisible, and to act in ways that honor their calling while protecting their inner flame. This sensitivity also brings a deeper connection to the world around them. Those attuned to spiritual energies often experience a profound empathy. They are drawn to serve, comfort, and guide others because they perceive suffering and needs before they are expressed. Their awareness allows them to see beyond appearances, to understand motivations, and to sense opportunities to bring healing or encouragement. While this gift can be overwhelming at times, it is an essential component of a spiritual assignment. It prepares them to engage with life intentionally, to act as instruments of divine influence, and to carry the fire of God with wisdom and discernment. Yet, with heightened sensitivity comes responsibility. The individual must learn to guard their spirit, to protect their energy from influences that seek to diminish their flame. Exposure to negativity, deceit, or unresolved spiritual conflict can impact those who are spiritually attuned more profoundly than others. Establishing boundaries, engaging in consistent spiritual disciplines, and remaining connected to God are essential practices. This sensitivity is not meant to be a source of fear or paralysis, but a channel for discernment, insight, and empowerment. It is a gift to be stewarded with care, nurtured through discipline, and deployed with intentionality to fulfill the divine assignment for which they were born. Those with this gift often experience moments of clarity that seem instantaneous. A decision that would confuse others becomes clear. A choice that appears uncertain feels aligned with purpose, and the path forward is illuminated without explanation. These moments are not coincidence, but evidence that spiritual perception is guiding their steps. The sensitivity to unseen realities allows them to act with confidence in alignment with God's plan. It is a subtle yet powerful way in which the divine fire within them operates, ensuring that their life remains directed, intentional, and in harmony with their calling. The spiritual realm is not always welcoming, and those with heightened sensitivity are often more aware of opposition. They may feel the presence of forces that seek to obstruct, distract, or diminish the fire they carry. These encounters can manifest as anxiety, fear, or sudden confusion. However, the awareness itself is a gift, providing an early warning system that allows them to respond with prayer, faith, and spiritual authority. It is in these moments that the strength of their fire is tested, refined, and strengthened. They learn to rely on God's power rather than their own understanding, cultivating resilience and boldness that prepare them to walk fully in their spiritual assignment. This sensitivity also fosters a life of intentionality. Those who perceive spiritual energy are keenly aware that every action, word, and thought carries weight. They understand that alignment with God's will produces harmony, clarity, and protection, while misalignment invites disturbance and confusion. This awareness shapes their decisions, influences their relationships, and guides their approach to work, ministry, and personal growth. It instills a discipline that may seem uncommon to others, but is essential for those carrying a spiritual assignment. The fire within them is maintained and strengthened through conscious alignment with divine purpose and careful attention to the spiritual realities that surround them. In many ways, this heightened sensitivity acts as a bridge between the natural and the spiritual. It allows the individual to navigate both realms simultaneously, responding to the physical world with wisdom while remaining attuned to divine guidance. It equips them to discern motives, understand consequences, and act in alignment with eternal principles. The fire of God within them is strengthened by this awareness, as each experience, perception, and revelation reinforces their connection to the divine source of their calling. Over time, the ability to sense spiritual realities becomes an indispensable tool in fulfilling their assignment, guiding every decision, every step, and every interaction with precision and purpose. Those who carry this gift must also cultivate patience and humility. The spiritual realm often operates in ways that are not immediately understandable, and insight may arrive gradually or in unexpected forms. Learning to trust impressions, interpret them wisely, and act with faith requires ongoing development. Spiritual mentorship, consistent engagement with God's Word, and a disciplined prayer life help sharpen this sensitivity, transforming it from a passive awareness into a powerful instrument of discernment and influence. The combination of perception, wisdom, and obedience ensures that the individual can walk boldly in their calling without being overwhelmed by the realities they perceive. Ultimately, high sensitivity to energy and the spirit realm is both a gift and a responsibility. It is a sign that the individual is born to carry a spiritual assignment, to navigate life with heightened awareness, and to act with discernment and wisdom. This sensitivity connects them to the unseen, strengthens their fire, and guides their steps toward fulfillment of divine purpose. Those who embrace it learn to listen to subtle impressions, trust spiritual guidance, and act boldly in alignment with God's plan. The fire within them grows brighter, stronger, and more refined as they walk intentionally through life, attuned to both the seen and unseen realities that shape their destiny. Number 4, a heart for service and transformation. One of the clearest signs that you were born with a spiritual assignment on earth is the innate pull to serve others and to be a catalyst for transformation. From the earliest moments of consciousness, you feel a deep resonance with the act of giving, not as an obligation or a societal expectation, but as a calling that emerges from the core of your being. There is a quiet yet persistent whisper within you, urging you to step beyond self-interest and to become a vessel through which positive change flows. This inclination toward service is not limited to grand gestures or public recognition. It manifests in subtle ways: a kind word offered at the right time, a gesture of compassion to someone in need, or an unspoken effort to ease the burdens of those around you. Your heart naturally gravitates toward making a difference, even when the world seems indifferent. And this is the hallmark of a soul aligned with purpose. Those born with a spiritual assignment often carry an acute awareness of human suffering and a desire to alleviate it. This does not mean that life has spared you from hardship, but rather that you are uniquely sensitive to the struggles of others and are drawn to transform pain into growth. You do not see suffering as a mere obstacle. You perceive it as an opportunity for healing, learning, and evolution. There is a sacred dimension to the way you approach challenges, recognizing that each encounter with difficulty is both a test and a chance to manifest your divine purpose. You are naturally compelled to step into spaces where transformation is needed, whether that be within individuals, communities, or larger societal structures. And your presence often inspires change even when you do not consciously intend it. A heart for service and transformation also comes with a profound understanding of interconnectedness. You sense, often instinctively, that the well-being of one is tied to the well-being of all. The joy and pain of others resonate within you as though they were your own, and this empathy fuels your desire to contribute meaningfully to the world. You are not motivated by recognition or reward. Your efforts are guided by a higher principle, a recognition that serving others aligns with the greater good. This perspective allows you to approach life with humility and patience, understanding that true transformation takes time and cannot be forced. The world may not always respond to your efforts in the ways you hope, yet your commitment remains unwavering, because it is rooted in a spiritual truth that transcends immediate outcomes. Service is often intertwined with a deep sense of responsibility. Those born with a spiritual assignment recognize that their gifts are not solely for personal fulfillment, but are meant to be shared. This responsibility can manifest in many forms. Some feel called to guide others through mentorship, teaching, or leadership, while others express their purpose through creative or healing arts that touch hearts and minds. Regardless of the form it takes, the work is never about ego or status. It is about facilitating growth, offering support, and planting seeds of transformation. You may find that you are drawn to causes or endeavors that others overlook or deem insignificant. Yet you understand instinctively that no act of service is too small, and that even quiet, consistent efforts can ripple outward in ways that profoundly shape lives. A heart for transformation requires courage, for it often calls you to confront discomfort, injustice, and the limitations of human understanding. Your spiritual assignment is rarely a path of ease, because transformation frequently demands that you face your own shadows even as you guide others toward their own awakening. There is a subtle, persistent tension between the desire to help and the need to allow others the space to grow independently. This tension teaches patience and discernment, reinforcing the understanding that true transformation is never imposed, but nurtured. Your role is not to fix or rescue, but to illuminate possibilities, to encourage awakening, and to create conditions where growth can flourish naturally. Those with a spiritual calling also experience moments of profound intuition and clarity regarding where their efforts will be most effective. You may feel drawn to certain people, places, or circumstances without fully understanding why. Yet there is a deep knowing that your presence is needed. These intuitive nudges guide you toward opportunities for service that align with your purpose. And though they may challenge you or require sacrifices, you find a sense of fulfillment that cannot be derived from worldly success alone. This alignment between inner guidance and outward action is one of the clearest indicators that your life is intertwined with a spiritual mission. Transformation, in its essence, is not only about changing external circumstances, but also about cultivating inner shifts that ripple outward. You recognize that true impact arises when individuals awaken to their own potential and embrace their inherent worth. As a vessel of service, you become a mirror, reflecting the light and strength that others may have forgotten they possess. Your words, actions, and presence have the power to ignite self-awareness and inspire growth, yet you remain grounded in humility, understanding that the spark belongs not to you, but to the divine energy that flows through you. This awareness fosters a deep respect for the autonomy of others and reinforces the principle that transformation is a shared journey, not a solitary achievement. A heart attuned to service and transformation also embodies resilience. The path is rarely linear and setbacks are inevitable, yet your dedication does not waver. Challenges are reframed as opportunities to deepen your capacity for empathy, patience, and creative problem-solving. You learn to navigate disappointment with grace, to forgive both yourself and others, and to maintain a steady focus on the long-term impact of your efforts. This resilience is not born from stubbornness, but from a profound understanding that your life has a higher purpose, and that every experience, whether joyful or painful, contributes to the unfolding of that purpose. Ultimately, being born with a spiritual assignment means that your life is intrinsically linked to the well-being and transformation of others. Your heart for service is both a gift and a responsibility, one that calls you to act with love, integrity, and unwavering commitment. You are drawn to illuminate the paths of others, not out of obligation, but from a deep recognition that this is the work your soul was designed to do. In every act of kindness, every effort to guide, and every choice to uplift, you honor the divine purpose embedded within your being. The world may not always understand the depth of your calling, yet your inner compass remains steadfast, reminding you that true fulfillment arises when your heart is fully engaged in service and transformation. In embracing this calling, you become a living testament to the power of love in action. You show that one person, guided by purpose and fueled by compassion, can indeed create ripples that extend far beyond immediate perception. A heart for service and transformation is both a sign and a living reality of your spiritual assignment, a beacon illuminating the sacred interplay between human effort and divine orchestration. It is a reminder that the measure of a life well lived is not found in accolades or possessions, but in the lives touched, the hearts uplifted, and the transformations sparked along the way. Number 5. Frequent tests and spiritual opposition. One of the unmistakable signs that you were born with a spiritual assignment is the presence of frequent tests and the experience of spiritual opposition. From the very beginning, life seems to present challenges that go beyond ordinary difficulties. These tests are not meant to punish or discourage you, but to refine your character, deepen your faith, and strengthen your resolve. There is an invisible pressure, a force that tests your commitment to the higher purpose embedded in your soul. You will often find that the challenges you face are not random. They are intricately aligned with the areas of your life that must be purified and prepared for the fulfillment of your divine mission. The opposition comes not only from external circumstances, but often from unseen spiritual forces that seek to delay or distract you. Yet these experiences are markers of your calling, signals that your life is of significant spiritual importance. Spiritual opposition can manifest in many forms. It may appear as persistent obstacles in your career, relationships, or personal development. Sometimes it takes the shape of betrayal or misunderstanding, where your intentions are misrepresented or ignored. At other times, it emerges as internal struggles such as doubt, fear, or feelings of inadequacy. These tests are often repetitive, designed to ensure that you are truly prepared to carry out the work you were sent to do. The scripture reminds us in James 1:12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." These trials, though difficult, serve as opportunities to demonstrate faithfulness and endurance. They reveal the strength of your spirit and your ability to maintain alignment with your divine purpose, even when circumstances seem impossible. Those with a spiritual assignment quickly learn that opposition is a natural part of the journey. It is almost as if the world itself, along with spiritual forces aligned against divine order, conspires to test your resilience. Each challenge serves a dual purpose. It strengthens your character and hones your spiritual sensitivity. Over time, you begin to recognize patterns in the trials you face. Certain areas of life will consistently present difficulties, indicating that these are the very spaces in which your spiritual growth is most needed. Opposition is rarely arbitrary. It is a strategic force that compels you to confront weaknesses, refine virtues, and cultivate unwavering trust in the unseen. Those who embrace these lessons emerge more capable, more discerning, and better equipped to fulfill their purpose. Frequent tests also have a way of revealing the depth of your faith. When life places pressure on you, it uncovers whether your belief is superficial or firmly rooted. You may find that at times, even small inconveniences feel unbearable. Yet these moments are essential in developing spiritual resilience. The true test is not whether you encounter difficulties, but how you respond to them. Do you allow frustration, anger, or despair to dictate your actions? Or do you rise above, trusting that there is divine wisdom behind every challenge? The soul with a spiritual assignment is constantly learning to align thought, word, and deed with purpose, despite opposition. Each successful navigation of trial is a step towards spiritual maturity, each setback an invitation to greater trust and surrender. Spiritual opposition often targets the areas where you are most gifted. If you are a healer, teacher, or leader, the very gifts that equip you to serve may be challenged. Criticism, envy, or deliberate sabotage can appear not as a reflection of your worth, but as a sign that your influence is being noticed. Opposition is a paradoxical confirmation that you are on the right path. It is the resistance that signals the importance of your mission. Recognizing this truth allows you to approach challenges with a sense of calm confidence. Understanding that the forces at work are not random, but part of a larger spiritual equation. In this way, opposition becomes less of a threat and more of a confirmation that you are living in alignment with your calling. Tests are rarely confined to external circumstances alone. They often arise within your inner life, challenging your motives, desires, and convictions. You may encounter periods of intense self-doubt or struggle with the temptation to abandon your purpose in favor of comfort or ease. These internal trials are among the most crucial, for they determine whether you can remain faithful when there is no audience to witness your perseverance. A spiritual assignment requires inner fortitude. Without it, external opposition can easily derail even the most promising path. The constant interplay between external challenges and internal struggles is designed to refine your soul, to cultivate resilience, patience, and humility. Each test, no matter how painful, is a spiritual tool intended to prepare you for the responsibilities your calling entails. Another dimension of spiritual opposition is the feeling of isolation. Those with a spiritual assignment often experience moments when they feel misunderstood or alienated, even by those closest to them. The intensity of your purpose may make ordinary interactions feel disconnected. People may not comprehend your vision, your urgency, or the depth of your commitment, and this can lead to discouragement. Yet solitude is also a sacred space. It allows for reflection, discernment, and communion with the divine. In times of isolation, your faith is refined and your vision becomes clearer. Spiritual opposition, in this sense, is both a challenge and a teacher. inviting you to rely on divine guidance rather than human validation. Frequent tests also foster a greater sense of humility and dependence on God. They remind you that no matter how talented, dedicated, or resourceful you are, true success is rooted in divine alignment. The challenges you face teach reliance, patience, and the understanding that spiritual victories are often invisible and cumulative. Each trial endured strengthens your capacity for empathy, allowing you to connect with others who are struggling and to minister with authenticity and compassion. The path of a spiritual assignment is rarely easy, but it is deeply transformative. The opposition you encounter is part of a divine curriculum, shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Ultimately, frequent tests and spiritual opposition serve as markers of your spiritual identity and purpose. They indicate that your life matters, that your actions have significance beyond the visible, and that you are engaged in a sacred mission. The path may be arduous, the obstacles formidable, and the opposition relentless, yet every challenge is an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and more attuned to your calling. Those who persevere under pressure, who maintain faith despite opposition, and who continue to act in alignment with their purpose, discover an inner strength and spiritual depth that cannot be achieved through ease or comfort. The crown of life promised in Scripture is not a distant reward, but a present reality experienced through steadfast devotion and trust. The presence of opposition is therefore not a curse, but a confirmation of your spiritual significance. Each trial, whether seen or unseen, is a spiritual test designed to prepare you for higher levels of service and transformation. The resistance may be daunting, yet it is a sign that your assignment is unfolding as it should. By embracing these challenges with faith, patience, and courage, you strengthen the very foundation upon which your divine mission rests. You learn to recognize that the struggles themselves are part of the work, part of the shaping, and part of the purification necessary for your purpose to shine fully in the world. Number 6. Strong inner guidance system. One of the most defining signs that you were born with a spiritual assignment is the presence of a strong inner guidance system. This inner compass is an invisible yet undeniable force that directs your steps, shapes your decisions, and keeps you aligned with the purpose of your soul. From a young age, you may have noticed that your intuition often guides you more accurately than advice from others, that quiet nudges and subtle feelings direct you toward the right path, even when logic suggests otherwise. This inner guidance is not rooted in fleeting emotions or wishful thinking. It is a steady, consistent awareness that senses the alignment between your choices and the higher calling within you. Those who possess this gift learn to trust it above all else, recognizing that it is a direct connection to the wisdom of the divine and the deeper truths of existence. The inner guidance system operates in ways that are often gentle yet insistent. It speaks in whispers, nudges, and quiet knowing rather than through loud or forceful commands. It appears in moments of reflection, when a thought arises that shifts your perspective, or in sudden clarity during times of confusion. It is the sense that something is right or wrong long before external circumstances confirm it. For those with a spiritual assignment, this guidance is not optional, it is essential. Following it is a matter of spiritual survival, for it ensures that your energy and efforts are directed toward what truly matters. Ignoring or doubting this inner compass can lead to unnecessary detours, prolonged struggles, and experiences that test your faith and resolve more than they need to. Those born with a spiritual assignment often notice that their inner guidance system is remarkably accurate when it comes to moral discernment and alignment with truth. It is rare for this sense to mislead you when you approach decisions from a place of sincerity and integrity. You instinctively know which opportunities to pursue and which to decline, which relationships are beneficial and which may divert you from your purpose. There is an uncanny ability to read situations and people beyond surface appearances, to sense intentions that are unspoken, and to anticipate outcomes before they unfold. This is not a product of intellect or skill alone. It is a spiritual sensitivity that develops over time as you cultivate awareness and trust in your higher self. The strength of this inner guidance system is often revealed through contrast with the opinions and expectations of others. There will be times when your intuition directs you in ways that appear unconventional or even risky to those around you. Friends, family, and colleagues may question your choices, unable to understand the invisible thread that pulls you in a certain direction. Yet your inner guidance persists, gently reminding you that your path is unique and that the validation you seek externally is secondary to the certainty you feel internally. Learning to honor this guidance in the face of doubt and skepticism is one of the most significant aspects of fulfilling a spiritual assignment. It requires courage, patience, and unwavering trust that the unseen forces supporting your journey are far more reliable than the opinions of those who cannot perceive them. A strong inner guidance system is intimately connected with heightened self-awareness. Those with this gift spend time reflecting, meditating, and listening to their inner world. They cultivate the ability to distinguish between ego-driven desires, fear-based reactions, and the deeper promptings of the soul. This discernment is essential, for the guidance that comes from a spiritual source is always rooted in clarity, peace, and alignment with purpose. It does not lead to confusion, anxiety, or manipulation. When you are attuned to this system, you recognize a distinct difference between impulses born of temporary emotion and those that carry the weight of spiritual truth. Over time, this awareness becomes a reliable compass that directs every major decision, large or small, ensuring that your actions consistently reflect the higher calling embedded in your being. Trusting the inner guidance system also requires patience. The direction it provides is rarely instantaneous or dramatic. Often, it manifests as subtle inclinations or gentle suggestions that unfold gradually, revealing their full significance only over time. You may feel a nudge to change a thought pattern, to approach a situation differently, or to wait before taking action. Acting prematurely or ignoring these prompts can lead to frustration or missed opportunities. Conversely, learning to move in harmony with the timing and wisdom of this internal compass brings a profound sense of alignment, flow, and confidence. It reinforces the understanding that your life is not subject to random chance, but is guided by a higher intelligence that works in perfect synchrony with your growth and purpose. For those with a spiritual assignment, the inner guidance system is also a source of protection. It alerts you to situations, people, and decisions that could derail your path or drain your energy. This protective function is not fear-based, but grounded in a deep awareness of what will support your soul's mission. You may find yourself instinctively avoiding environments that feel toxic, refraining from actions that feel misaligned, or stepping away from individuals whose presence disrupts your spiritual focus. The guidance you receive is subtle yet powerful, keeping you on track even when external circumstances are chaotic or uncertain. It ensures that your life remains in alignment with the divine purpose for which you were created. Developing a strong inner guidance system is both a natural gift and a conscious practice. While some individuals are born with heightened sensitivity, it is refined through consistent attention, reflection, and intentional living. Practices such as meditation, prayer, journaling, and quiet contemplation enhance the clarity and reliability of this guidance. By spending time listening to your inner voice and observing the outcomes of following it, you cultivate confidence in your ability to discern truth from distraction. Over time, this creates an unshakable foundation for decision-making, one that allows you to navigate life with grace, courage, and unwavering focus on your spiritual assignment. The inner guidance system is not static. It grows in strength as you honor it and respond to its prompts. Each time you act in alignment with this inner wisdom, your trust deepens and the guidance becomes clearer. Conversely, ignoring or resisting it can create confusion and internal conflict, slowing the progress of your spiritual mission. Learning to recognize and interpret the subtle cues of intuition is therefore essential. It requires patience, humility, and a willingness to surrender control, understanding that your conscious mind does not always have the full perspective that your higher self perceives. The stronger your inner guidance system becomes, the more attuned you are to divine timing, opportunities, and the unfolding of your purpose. Ultimately, a strong inner guidance system is both a hallmark and a tool of a spiritual assignment. It is the quiet yet powerful force that ensures you remain aligned with the higher calling of your soul. It guides, protects, and strengthens you, providing clarity in moments of uncertainty and confidence when external circumstances seem unpredictable. Trusting and developing this inner compass allows you to navigate life with wisdom and purpose, to respond to challenges with discernment, and to act with integrity even when the path is difficult. It is the intimate connection between your spirit and the divine, a constant reminder that your life is guided, meaningful, and significant. Following this guidance is not only an act of obedience, but a profound expression of faith in the mission for which you were born. Number 7, restlessness in mediocrity and complacency. One of the unmistakable signs that you were born with a spiritual assignment is an enduring restlessness in the face of mediocrity and complacency. While others may accept routines, comfort, and predictability, without question, you are seldom satisfied with mere adequacy. There is an inner stirring, a persistent unease that arises whenever life feels stagnant or uninspiring. It is not discontent for the sake of discontent, nor is it rebellion against structure or responsibility. Rather, it is a profound signal from within, a call to pursue something greater, something meaningful that resonates with the purpose of your soul. This restlessness is an essential marker of spiritual alignment, a subtle yet persistent reminder that your life is meant for impact, transformation, and significance beyond the ordinary. Those with a spiritual assignment often experience this restlessness in both tangible and intangible ways. On the surface, it may manifest as dissatisfaction with work, relationships, or social environments that do not challenge, inspire, or align with your higher purpose. You may find yourself questioning routines that others accept without hesitation, wondering if there is more to life than the familiar patterns of security and predictability. Beneath the surface, however, this feeling is deeper. It is a spiritual signal that the soul cannot thrive in complacency, that the energy within you is meant to be channeled toward growth, service, and the fulfillment of a calling that exceeds personal comfort. The restlessness is an internal compass, guiding you away from stagnation and toward meaningful engagement with the world. Complacency has a subtle way of luring people into a sense of false security. It is quiet, seductive, and often socially reinforced. Others may encourage you to accept less, to conform to the rhythm of ordinary expectations, or to settle for achievements that are adequate rather than extraordinary. For someone with a spiritual assignment, these pressures can feel suffocating. The soul instinctively rebels against being confined to mediocrity. It is as if every fiber of your being resists the notion that life should be lived passively without intention or purpose. This resistance is not merely personal ambition. It is a reflection of the divine calling embedded within you, a reminder that your life is meant to be a vessel for impact, not merely a reflection of societal norms. Restlessness in the face of complacency also carries a sense of urgency. Those born with a spiritual assignment are often acutely aware that life is finite and that every moment carries potential for influence, growth, and contribution. The thought of wasting time, talent, or energy on pursuits that lack purpose is intolerable. You may feel a constant push to explore, to innovate, and to stretch beyond what is familiar or comfortable. This urgency is not fueled by anxiety alone, but by a deep inner knowing that your existence is part of a greater plan, and that the world awaits the unique contribution only you can make. It is this awareness that drives you to continually seek alignment with your purpose, refusing to settle for mediocrity even when the easier path beckons. The restlessness you feel also reveals itself in your interactions with the world. You are often drawn to environments, experiences, and people that stimulate growth, challenge complacency, and provoke reflection. Ordinary pursuits feel hollow or unsatisfying because they do not engage the depth of your soul. You are compelled to ask questions that others avoid, to seek truths that are often overlooked, and to challenge assumptions that keep people bound to mediocrity. This inclination can be isolating at times because your vision, energy, and urgency may not be fully understood or appreciated by those who have not felt the same inner stirrings. Yet, it is precisely this restlessness that drives you forward, pushing you to pursue a life of significance, service, and transformation. Complacency also has an internal dimension that you must navigate. It is possible to fall into the trap of accepting limitations, either imposed by fear, doubt, or past experiences. You may feel the temptation to rationalize inactivity or justify inaction in ways that temporarily quell restlessness. For someone with a spiritual assignment, these internal struggles are particularly poignant because the soul recognizes when potential is being wasted. The resulting tension between comfort and calling can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is also necessary. It is the tension that fuels growth, creativity, and the courage to take steps toward purpose, even when fear, uncertainty, or resistance arise. Restlessness in mediocrity is also closely linked to personal responsibility. Those with a spiritual assignment understand that their gifts, talents, and opportunities are not accidental. There is a sense that the world has a need for what you were born to contribute, and ignoring this calling feels like betrayal, not of others, but of your own soul. This understanding creates a restlessness that cannot be ignored. It demands that you evaluate your choices continuously, that you seek alignment in every area of life, and that you reject compromises that dilute your mission. Unlike superficial ambition, this restlessness is sustained, persistent, and deeply connected to spiritual purpose rather than ego or personal gain. The unease of mediocrity also acts as a protective force, ensuring that you do not remain confined by societal expectations or self-imposed limitations. While others may accept the familiar path because it is easy or socially approved, your restlessness drives exploration and innovation. It compels you to question conventions, pursue meaningful work, and cultivate skills and insights that extend beyond the ordinary. This proactive engagement with life ensures that your spiritual assignment is not neglected or delayed, that your energy and resources are directed toward the fulfillment of the purpose for which you were created. In this sense, restlessness is not a weakness, but a vital spiritual mechanism constantly urging you toward alignment, growth, and meaningful contribution. Those with a spiritual assignment also recognize that restlessness is often linked to potential. You may experience frustration when you see untapped possibilities within yourself or others. Ordinary solutions, conventional strategies, and repetitive routines feel insufficient because they fail to match the scale of your vision and calling. The restlessness is, in essence, a reflection of the latent power within you, a signal that your gifts are not meant to remain dormant. It is the internal insistence that urges you to develop your abilities, deepen your understanding, and expand your influence, transforming both your life and the lives of those around you. Moreover, this restlessness is closely tied to accountability. There is an unspoken awareness that you are responsible for how you steward your time, energy, and talents. Mediocrity and complacency are not neutral states. They represent missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. Your soul resists stagnation because it knows that the mission entrusted to you requires focus, diligence, and intentionality. The restlessness is, therefore, a call to action, a reminder that fulfillment, service, and transformation are achieved only through persistent effort, courage, and alignment with divine purpose. Ultimately, restlessness in mediocrity and complacency is a hallmark of a spiritual assignment. It reflects the inner knowledge that life is meant to be lived fully, intentionally, and in alignment with higher purpose. The discomfort you feel when trapped in routine is not a flaw or weakness. It is an invitation to rise, to stretch beyond limitations, and to embrace the mission for which you were born. The restlessness drives you to seek challenges, cultivate your gifts, and contribute meaningfully to the world. It is a relentless, yet sacred force that ensures your life does not drift into insignificance, that your talents are fully realized, and that your journey reflects the calling of your soul. Living with this restlessness requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to confront fear and inertia. It demands that you listen to the voice within, honor your potential, and resist the temptations of ease, comfort, and approval that do not serve your purpose. Those who embrace this restlessness transform it into action, channeling it into endeavors that inspire, uplift, and create impact. They learn to recognize the difference between healthy urgency and destructive impatience, understanding that the soul's calling unfolds in both seasons of preparation and action. The restlessness is a compass, guiding you toward purpose, encouraging growth, and ensuring that complacency never hinders the fulfillment of your spiritual assignment. In essence, the restlessness you feel is a sacred signal. It is a reminder that life is not meant to be ordinary, that your presence has meaning, and that your soul is designed to leave a lasting imprint. Mediocrity and complacency may surround you in various forms, but the inner stirring compels you to rise above, to pursue excellence, and to align fully with the higher calling of your existence. It is a guiding force, a motivator, and a safeguard that keeps you focused on what truly matters. By listening to this restlessness, embracing its urgency, and acting in accordance with your divine purpose, you ensure that your life is marked not by stagnation, but by growth, contribution, and meaningful transformation. Beloved, fear and self-doubt are among the most persistent obstacles that challenge anyone born with a spiritual assignment. They creep into the mind in quiet, subtle ways, often disguised as caution, humility, or practicality. Yet beneath these disguises lies a force that can paralyze your potential, obscure your vision, and delay the fulfillment of your divine purpose. The presence of fear does not necessarily indicate weakness, nor does self-doubt mean failure. These are natural human experiences, yet for those with a spiritual assignment, they require conscious recognition, careful navigation, and deliberate action. Understanding their origins, manifestations, and ways to rise above them is essential to walking confidently in alignment with your purpose. Fear often originates from uncertainty about the future. You may know deep within that your life has a purpose, yet the path ahead appears unclear, daunting, or even impossible. This uncertainty can generate anxiety, preventing you from taking the steps your calling demands. The mind conjures endless what-ifs, projecting potential failure or rejection before action has even begun. Self-doubt often emerges alongside fear, whispering that you are not equipped, capable, or worthy to fulfill your assignment. These inner voices can be so persuasive that even when evidence points to your ability or divine favor, you may still hesitate, question, or retreat. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in overcoming them, for awareness allows you to distinguish between the lie of fear and the truth of your purpose. For those with a spiritual assignment, fear and self-doubt often appear at critical moments. When opportunities arise, when decisions must be made, or when visibility and responsibility increase, the mind may react defensively, retreating into comfort zones. It is as if the magnitude of your purpose triggers resistance from both within and without. Spiritual assignments are rarely small or inconsequential, and the soul understands the risks of exposure, growth, and influence. The very awareness of your calling can provoke fear, because stepping into purpose often requires courage to face unknown challenges, opposition, or the judgment of others. In these moments, self-doubt whispers that perhaps you are not enough, that you are unprepared, or that failure is inevitable. Fear and self-doubt, however, are not permanent states. Scripture reminds us in Isaiah 41:10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This verse encapsulates the truth that divine support is always available, even when your confidence falters. Overcoming fear begins with the recognition that you are not alone in your assignment. There is a guiding presence, a source of strength, and a higher wisdom that can be accessed when uncertainty arises. Aligning with this divine assurance allows the soul to step beyond hesitation, to trust in preparation, and to act even when complete certainty is absent. Self-doubt often manifests as comparison. When you observe the achievements, talents, or influence of others, it is easy to question whether you are capable of similar impact. This comparison can be particularly intense for those with a spiritual assignment, because the calling of the soul is deeply personal and often unconventional. Your mission may not align with societal definitions of success, creating tension between your unique purpose and the visible accomplishments of those around you. Self-doubt feeds on this tension, insisting that you are behind, inadequate, or lacking. Recognizing that your assignment is distinct and that no one else's journey defines your worth or potential is a critical step in overcoming this internal barrier. Fear also thrives on the anticipation of failure. You may envision scenarios in which your efforts do not succeed, where your talents are rejected, or where mistakes lead to embarrassment or loss. These imagined outcomes can feel so real that they prevent action entirely. Yet it is important to understand that failure is not the opposite of purpose, but a component of growth. Every step taken toward fulfilling your assignment involves risk, learning, and sometimes temporary setbacks. Those who embrace this reality recognize that fear is often a signal, not a stop sign. It indicates areas where courage, preparation, or discernment are needed, but it does not dictate the outcome. The difference lies in whether you allow fear to control your decisions or whether you step forward despite it. Practical strategies for overcoming fear and self-doubt begin with awareness and naming. Acknowledge the specific fears you feel and the ways in which doubt manifests in thought, emotion, or behavior. Writing down these fears or speaking them aloud can bring clarity and reduce their power. Often, fear feels overwhelming because it remains unspoken and undefined. Once articulated, it can be evaluated, challenged, and reframed. For example, the fear of failure can be reframed as a necessary part of learning, a signal that your growth is underway. Self-doubt can be reframed as an invitation to develop confidence, skill, and resilience through intentional action rather than passive hesitation. Another essential practice is preparation. Fear often diminishes when you equip yourself with knowledge, skills, and clarity. For those with a spiritual assignment, preparation includes both practical and spiritual dimensions. Practically, it may involve learning, training, or gaining experience in the areas necessary to fulfill your calling. Spiritually, it involves prayer, meditation, reflection, and alignment with the principles that guide your purpose. Preparation builds confidence, strengthens intuition, and allows action to be taken with clarity rather than impulsiveness. The combination of skill and spiritual alignment forms a powerful antidote to the paralysis of fear. Community also plays a critical role in overcoming self-doubt. Surrounding yourself with supportive, like-minded individuals who understand, encourage, and challenge you can help counteract the negative internal narratives that feed doubt. Mentors, peers, and spiritual guides provide perspective, affirmation, and accountability, reminding you of your strengths and the validity of your calling. The presence of others who have walked similar paths reinforces the truth that fear and doubt are natural, but not insurmountable. Their experience, encouragement, and guidance create an external reflection of the divine support that undergirds your journey. Faith is another cornerstone in overcoming fear and self-doubt. Trusting that your life has meaning, that your assignment is intentional, and that unseen forces are at work provides the courage to act even when the path is unclear. Faith does not eliminate fear, but reframes it, transforming anxiety into focused energy and hesitation into deliberate movement. It allows you to move forward while acknowledging the unknown, understanding that each step taken in alignment with purpose is a step toward fulfillment. The act of trusting in a higher order, combined with diligent effort, shifts the energy of fear from limitation to empowerment. Action, even in small steps, is crucial. Fear and self-doubt feed on inaction, magnifying perceived obstacles until they feel insurmountable. By taking intentional steps toward your goals, you weaken the grip of these forces and build momentum. Action reinforces the truth that capability is discovered through doing, not through waiting for perfect conditions. Each step, however imperfect, generates confidence, experience, and clarity. Over time, repeated action diminishes fear, replaces self-doubt with competence, and strengthens trust in the inner guidance system that accompanies every spiritual assignment. Reflection on past successes also counters fear and doubt. Remembering times when challenges were overcome, decisions led to growth, or intuitive guidance proved accurate reinforces belief in your ability. Reflection provides evidence that, despite past fears or uncertainties, progress has been possible. It builds resilience by reminding the soul that every obstacle faced has contributed to growth and that setbacks are not final. This historical perspective nurtures courage, strengthens confidence, and affirms that the path of purpose is navigable despite the presence of fear or doubt. Spiritual practices that cultivate inner peace and clarity are indispensable in this journey. Meditation, prayer, journaling, and contemplative reflection create spaces where fear and doubt can be acknowledged without being allowed to dominate. These practices connect you to the deeper source of wisdom, strength, and guidance that lies within. They help the mind distinguish between legitimate caution and paralyzing fear, between constructive introspection and destructive self-doubt. By maintaining this connection, the soul learns to respond with discernment, confidence, and faith, rather than reactionary fear or hesitation. It is also important to embrace the concept of imperfection. Fear and self-doubt often arise from the expectation of flawless performance or constant success. Those born with a spiritual assignment frequently set high standards for themselves, sometimes believing that any failure equates to unworthiness. Understanding that imperfection is part of growth, that mistakes are opportunities for learning, and that divine purpose unfolds despite human flaws allows the soul to act with courage rather than avoidance. Accepting imperfection transforms fear from an obstacle into a guide, signaling areas for growth rather than reasons to quit. Ultimately, overcoming fear and self-doubt is a continuous journey rather than a one-time achievement. It requires vigilance, awareness, faith, and consistent action. Each time you confront fear, take action despite doubt, and trust in your divine guidance. Your resilience strengthens, your confidence grows, and your ability to fulfill your assignment deepens. The presence of fear is not a signal that your purpose is unattainable. It is evidence that your calling is significant, that you are stepping into growth, and that your life matters. The soul's response to fear and self-doubt defines the trajectory of your spiritual assignment more than the absence of obstacles ever could. Overcoming fear and self-doubt is both an internal and external practice. Internally, it involves self-awareness, faith, reflection, and alignment with purpose. Externally, it involves action, preparation, seeking support, and engaging with opportunities despite uncertainty. Together, these practices create a foundation upon which spiritual assignments can flourish. The journey is rarely without challenge, yet every confrontation with fear strengthens the soul, clarifies the path, and affirms the divine calling. Each step forward is an act of courage, a declaration of faith, and a commitment to the mission for which you were born. Fear and self-doubt may never disappear completely, but they can be transformed. They can become signals of growth, reminders of alignment, and catalysts for action. For those with a spiritual assignment, their presence confirms the significance of your mission. You are being called to move beyond comfort, to trust in unseen guidance, and to act with courage despite uncertainty. Every step taken in faith diminishes the power of fear, replaces doubt with confidence, and strengthens your connection to the divine source that supports your purpose. By facing these internal forces directly, you cultivate the resilience, clarity, and courage necessary to fulfill your spiritual assignment fully and impactfully. Every person born with a spiritual assignment will inevitably encounter opposition and challenges, sometimes subtle, sometimes overt, yet always purposeful. These obstacles are not signs that you are failing or that your calling is mistaken. Rather, they are natural companions on the journey of fulfillment. Spiritual opposition is often unseen, manifesting in ways that test your resolve, patience, and faith. Challenges may take the form of critical voices, unexpected delays, personal doubts, or circumstances that seem designed to halt progress. For those with a spiritual assignment, understanding the nature of these obstacles and learning to navigate them is essential to maintaining alignment with purpose. Recognizing that opposition is part of the journey allows you to respond with wisdom and courage rather than frustration and discouragement. Spiritual opposition often begins internally before it appears externally. Your mind may wrestle with fear, indecision, or uncertainty, questioning whether you are capable of fulfilling your assignment. Doubts arise at moments when clarity and confidence are most needed, making the path forward seem murky and unattainable. These internal battles can be subtle, disguised as fatigue, procrastination, or rationalization. They are designed to test your commitment to your calling, to see whether you will persevere even when the path is not easy. Those who recognize the internal nature of much opposition can learn to pause, reflect, and reaffirm their purpose, rather than reacting impulsively to fear or frustration. External opposition can take many forms, from skepticism and criticism to direct resistance from people or circumstances. Friends, family members, colleagues, or even institutions may fail to understand your mission, question your decisions, or discourage your efforts. Sometimes the resistance is intentional, rooted in jealousy, misunderstanding, or fear, while other times it is unintentional, emerging from ignorance or differing perspectives. Regardless of its source, external opposition can feel heavy, discouraging, and isolating. Those with spiritual assignments must learn to recognize that this resistance is not a reflection of their worth or ability. It is instead a natural byproduct of pursuing a path that challenges norms, defies comfort, and seeks impact beyond the ordinary. Challenges often appear in cycles, recurring in different forms until they are confronted with clarity, courage, and faith. The same obstacle may reappear until you understand the lesson it is designed to teach, or until you cultivate the skill, discipline, or spiritual maturity required to overcome it. This cyclical nature can be frustrating, but it also provides opportunities for growth. Each challenge is a chance to strengthen resilience, deepen trust in divine guidance, and clarify priorities. Those with spiritual assignments learn to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as indicators of progress and refinement. The greater the calling, the more persistent the opposition, and the more essential it becomes to navigate challenges with discernment and persistence. Navigating spiritual opposition requires perspective. Understanding that challenges are an expected part of a spiritual journey allows the soul to respond rather than react. Impulsive reactions often amplify difficulties, while measured responses rooted in wisdom, faith, and clarity reduce their impact. The key is to see beyond immediate discomfort to the higher purpose that lies behind the struggle. Challenges often expose weaknesses, refine character, and teach patience, perseverance, and humility. They separate superficial effort from sincere commitment, revealing whether actions are aligned with divine calling or motivated by personal comfort, fear, or ambition. In this way, opposition is not only a test, but a tool for growth and transformation. Faith is a critical component in navigating spiritual opposition. Trust in a higher order, divine timing, and unseen guidance allows you to maintain direction even when circumstances appear chaotic or adversarial. Scripture affirms in Romans 8:31, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" This assurance is not a promise of a life free from obstacles, but a reminder that divine presence supersedes opposition. Faith shifts the focus from what appears threatening to what is eternal and purposeful. It enables perseverance in the face of criticism, rejection, or misunderstanding, and provides the inner strength to continue even when results are not immediately visible. Resilience is another essential element. Spiritual opposition often tests endurance, requiring you to persist despite setbacks, delays, and difficulties. Building resilience involves cultivating mental and emotional strength, staying grounded in your purpose, and refusing to be defined by temporary circumstances. Those with spiritual assignments learn to anticipate challenges, to recognize them as part of the journey, and to approach them with patience, strategy, and unwavering focus. Each obstacle overcome strengthens the soul, sharpens discernment, and builds confidence in the ability to navigate even greater challenges in the future. Discernment is indispensable when facing spiritual opposition. Not every obstacle is a test of faith. Some are simply lessons in timing, approach, or strategy. Developing the ability to distinguish between challenges that require endurance, those that require adaptation, and those that signal a need to pivot ensures that energy is not wasted on unnecessary struggles. Discernment grows through reflection, observation, prayer, and experience. It allows the soul to act with precision rather than reaction, ensuring that every confrontation with opposition is purposeful and productive rather than draining and distracting. Spiritual opposition also strengthens humility and dependence on the divine. It reminds those with a calling that success and progress are not the result of effort alone, but of alignment with a higher purpose. Challenges strip away pride, self-reliance, and assumptions of control, creating space for reliance on divine wisdom, guidance, and strength. Those who navigate opposition successfully learn that surrender is not weakness, but power, that asking for guidance is not a lack of ability, but a demonstration of alignment, and that patience and trust often achieve what force and frustration cannot. Persistence in the face of opposition requires maintaining clarity of vision. Those born with a spiritual assignment often have a vivid sense of their purpose, yet challenges can obscure or distort that vision temporarily. The temptation to compromise, to abandon effort, or to adjust expectations can be strong when resistance is persistent or overwhelming. Maintaining a clear picture of the ultimate goal, regularly revisiting the reasons for your calling, and staying connected to the principles and values that guide your mission provide the focus necessary to continue despite difficulty. Vision anchors the soul, ensuring that temporary opposition does not derail long-term purpose. Every challenge is also an opportunity for growth in wisdom and strength. Opposition reveals areas where preparation, skill, or spiritual maturity may be lacking. By confronting difficulties deliberately and intentionally, those with a spiritual assignment develop insight, strategic thinking, and emotional intelligence. Challenges teach patience in action, the value of timing, and the importance of discernment. They reveal which influences are supportive and which are distractions. Rather than resenting opposition, those attuned to their calling learn to see it as a teacher, a refining agent, and a guide toward deeper alignment with purpose. Accountability and support networks are crucial when navigating challenges. Isolation can amplify the weight of opposition, making obstacles appear insurmountable. Mentors, peers, and spiritual guides provide perspective, encouragement, and insight that can clarify the path forward. Support does not eliminate challenges, but equips the individual with resources, wisdom, and affirmation to continue. For those with spiritual assignments, relationships that reinforce values, encourage persistence, and provide honest reflection serve as shields against despair and distortion. Another important principle is adaptability. Not all opposition is meant to be confronted head-on. Some challenges require strategic adjustment, creative thinking, or patience. Adapting to circumstances without abandoning purpose demonstrates wisdom and flexibility. It allows the soul to navigate obstacles with intention rather than reacting in frustration or force. Adaptability ensures that energy is directed toward productive action rather than wasted on resistance that cannot be overcome by force alone. Navigating spiritual opposition also requires emotional mastery. Challenges often provoke strong emotions: anger, frustration, fear, or discouragement. While these emotions are natural, allowing them to dictate decisions can lead to missteps, conflict, or stagnation. Developing the ability to acknowledge emotions, process them, and respond with clarity ensures that actions remain aligned with purpose. Emotional mastery does not eliminate the experience of difficulty, but prevents it from undermining focus, integrity, or faith. It strengthens resilience, sharpens discernment, and maintains alignment with the higher calling. Spiritual opposition and challenges are rarely permanent. They are temporary tests designed to refine, strengthen, and guide. They reveal the depth of commitment, the strength of faith, and the clarity of purpose. Those born with a spiritual assignment often emerge from opposition stronger, wiser, and more capable. They learn that resistance is not an obstacle to success, but a necessary element in the cultivation of character, skill, and spiritual maturity. By embracing opposition as part of the journey, the soul grows, and the mission becomes clearer and more achievable. Overcoming opposition requires intentionality. It involves choosing response over reaction, faith over fear, and persistence over surrender. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to reinforce commitment to purpose, to rely on divine guidance, and to refine the approach to the mission. Those who navigate opposition with clarity, courage, and strategy cultivate strength that cannot be shaken by circumstances, criticism, or temporary setbacks. This strength ensures that spiritual assignments are fulfilled despite resistance, delays, or adversity. Ultimately, spiritual opposition is a confirmation of significance. The more substantial your assignment, the more resistance you are likely to encounter. Ordinary paths encounter ordinary obstacles, but extraordinary callings attract tests, challenges, and opposition because they disrupt norms, push boundaries, and require courage to pursue. Recognizing opposition as evidence of importance transforms perspective, turning frustration into motivation, discouragement into determination, and resistance into an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more effective in fulfilling your spiritual assignment. In essence, navigating spiritual opposition and challenges is an art of balance, wisdom, and perseverance. It demands awareness of internal struggles, discernment of external forces, reliance on faith, and steadfast action. It requires embracing resilience, humility, and adaptability while maintaining clarity of vision and emotional mastery. Those who succeed in navigating these obstacles emerge not only as fulfillers of their assignments, but as examples of courage, wisdom, and alignment for others. Opposition does not define the journey. The response to it does. By facing challenges with intentionality and faith, you ensure that every obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward fulfillment, transformation, and the realization of the higher purpose for which you were born. Living a purpose-driven life is one of the clearest signs that you were born with a spiritual assignment. It is not defined by wealth, status, or recognition, but by the intentional alignment of daily choices, actions, and priorities with the mission of your soul. Those who live in accordance with their calling experience a deep sense of fulfillment, even in the midst of challenges, because their lives are anchored in meaning and direction. Purpose-driven living is not a passive experience. It requires awareness, deliberate effort, and unwavering commitment to principles that reflect your higher calling. It is a conscious decision to let your life be more than the sum of daily routines, social expectations, or personal convenience. Every action, thought, and decision becomes an opportunity to align with purpose and contribute to the greater good. A purpose-driven life begins with self-knowledge. Understanding who you are, the gifts you carry, and the passions that move you is essential to identifying the path you are meant to follow. Those with spiritual assignments often feel a natural pull towards certain activities, causes, or expressions of service. These inclinations are rarely coincidental. They are indicators of the areas in which your talents, energy, and impact are most potent. The process of discovering purpose requires introspection, reflection, and discernment. It demands that you listen to the quiet nudges of intuition, consider the impact of your choices, and assess where your efforts can create the greatest transformation. In this process, clarity emerges, guiding the steps that lead to a life of meaningful contribution. Living with purpose also requires commitment to consistency. Purpose is not realized through occasional effort, fleeting inspiration, or sporadic acts of intention. It is cultivated through sustained focus, deliberate choices, and persistent engagement with the mission you have been entrusted to fulfill. Every decision, no matter how small, contributes to the larger trajectory of your life. The way you manage time, energy, relationships, and resources reflects whether your life is aligned with purpose or diverted by distraction. Consistency in action reinforces clarity, strengthens discipline, and demonstrates the seriousness with which you honor the calling of your soul. Those who live purposefully understand that the accumulation of small, intentional acts compounds over time, creating momentum toward meaningful outcomes. Faith is an essential element of purpose-driven living. Belief in the inherent value of your calling, trust in divine timing, and confidence in the guidance of a higher power sustain commitment even when challenges arise. Scripture affirms in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This assurance serves as a reminder that your purpose is intentional and supported by forces beyond your understanding. Faith enables you to act with confidence, embrace challenges as part of the journey, and persist in the pursuit of goals that may not yet be fully visible. It transforms uncertainty into trust, hesitation into action, and doubt into perseverance. Purpose-driven living also entails the intentional pursuit of growth. Those who align with their spiritual assignment recognize that personal development is inseparable from the fulfillment of purpose. Every experience, success, and challenge is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and refine the skills necessary for effective impact. Growth is not solely about acquiring knowledge or mastering tasks. It is about cultivating character, resilience, and wisdom. It involves expanding empathy, strengthening integrity, and deepening awareness of the ways in which your actions affect others. Purpose-driven individuals see every situation as a classroom for development, understanding that the better they become, the greater the impact they can make. Impacting the lives of others is the natural extension of living with purpose. A life centered on personal gain, comfort, or recognition rarely achieves the depth of fulfillment that accompanies meaningful service. Those born with spiritual assignments are drawn to contribution, influence, and transformation because their calling is not merely personal, it is relational and communal. Every gift, talent, and experience carries the potential to touch the lives of others, to inspire, guide, and uplift. When your life is purpose-driven, the impact extends beyond your own goals to create ripple effects that influence families, communities, and even generations. This is the essence of a calling realized, the alignment of personal purpose with collective good. Service to others, when guided by purpose, requires discernment and intentionality. Not every opportunity to help, mentor, or contribute aligns with your mission. Purpose-driven individuals learn to evaluate where their time, energy, and resources can create meaningful change. They recognize that impact is maximized when efforts are focused on areas that resonate with their gifts, vision, and calling. Effective impact is not measured by the quantity of effort, but by the quality and relevance of the contribution. Those who understand this principle invest themselves deeply in endeavors that produce lasting influence rather than scattering energy on transient or superficial pursuits. Living with purpose also requires courage. Impacting others often invites scrutiny, resistance, or misunderstanding. The more significant the calling, the greater the challenges and opposition are likely to be. Courage enables you to act despite fear, criticism, or doubt, and to remain steadfast when outcomes are uncertain. It is the willingness to confront discomfort, take principled stands, and pursue meaningful goals even when the path is difficult. Courage reinforces the connection between purpose and action, ensuring that the life you lead is defined by integrity, commitment, and meaningful contribution rather than convenience or fear. Authenticity is another cornerstone of purpose-driven living. Your impact on others is amplified when your actions, words, and presence reflect your true self and align with your values and mission. Those with spiritual assignments understand that authenticity fosters trust, credibility, and connection. People respond to genuine expressions of purpose because they resonate with the truth of intention. Pretending, imitating, or compromising for approval diminishes impact, while living authentically strengthens influence, encourages others to pursue their own purpose, and cultivates environments in which meaningful growth and transformation can occur. Purpose-driven living also cultivates a sense of responsibility. Those who understand their calling recognize that gifts, opportunities, and influence are not entitlements but responsibilities. Every action, decision, and interaction carries consequences, both seen and unseen. Purpose demands accountability to oneself, to those affected by one's choices, and to the divine source that guides the assignment. Responsibility ensures that actions are thoughtful, intentional, and aligned with higher principles. It transforms ordinary tasks into opportunities for meaningful contribution, ordinary relationships into avenues for service, and ordinary moments into milestones of purposeful living. Time management is a practical dimension of purpose-driven life. Living intentionally requires conscious prioritization, focusing on activities, relationships, and goals that align with your mission. Distraction, procrastination, and misplaced effort can diminish impact and create a sense of stagnation. Those with spiritual assignments cultivate the discipline to use time wisely, integrating focus, action, and reflection into daily life. Time becomes not merely a resource, but a measure of alignment, a tool through which purpose is expressed and influence is extended. Effective management of time ensures that energy is devoted to endeavors that fulfill both personal calling and communal impact. Impacting the lives of others requires empathy and understanding. Purpose is not realized in isolation. It thrives in connection. Recognizing the needs, struggles, and aspirations of others enables you to respond meaningfully, offering support, guidance, or inspiration that aligns with both your calling and their needs. Empathy fosters influence that is transformative rather than transactional. It allows for engagement that is responsive, compassionate, and aligned with the broader mission of service. Those who cultivate empathy in their pursuit of purpose find that their efforts resonate deeply and create lasting effects that extend beyond immediate circumstances. Purpose-driven living also embraces vision. Those who understand their spiritual assignment look beyond immediate circumstances, focusing on long-term goals and broader impact. Vision provides direction, motivation, and clarity, allowing the soul to navigate obstacles, prioritize effectively, and remain steadfast when challenges arise. A life without vision is reactive and fragmented, whereas a vision-centered life is deliberate, coherent, and powerful. Vision ensures that your actions contribute to meaningful outcomes, that your efforts align with enduring goals, and that your influence continues to expand even when immediate results are not visible. Mentorship and guidance are natural extensions of purpose-driven living. Those who embrace their calling recognize the importance of nurturing others, sharing knowledge, and empowering people to realize their potential. Impact is multiplied when wisdom, experience, and resources are shared intentionally, creating a cycle of growth, learning, and transformation. Mentorship is not merely an act of instruction. It is an act of stewardship, demonstrating the responsibility that comes with influence and the commitment to contribute meaningfully to the lives of others. Those who mentor effectively honor both their purpose and the potential of those they guide. Living purposefully also entails resilience in the face of setbacks. Challenges, opposition, and temporary failures are inevitable, yet they do not negate the calling or diminish the potential for impact. Purpose-driven individuals learn to view setbacks as opportunities for reflection, adaptation, and growth. Resilience transforms adversity into lessons, obstacles into strategies, and disappointment into renewed determination. The ability to persist despite challenges is often what differentiates those who fulfill their calling from those who abandon it prematurely. Resilience ensures that your influence remains consistent and that your mission continues to progress despite temporary interruptions. Generosity and contribution are integral to purpose-driven living. The assignment of your life is rarely meant to serve only yourself. It extends to others and to the world. Purpose manifests in actions that uplift, inspire, and support the well-being of those around you. Generosity may take many forms: time, resources, knowledge, mentorship, or emotional support. But it is always intentional, aimed at producing meaningful change. Those who live with purpose understand that true fulfillment is inseparable from the positive impact they have on others. Contribution reinforces connection, validates purpose, and magnifies influence. Ultimately, living a purpose-driven life is a journey of intentional alignment, sustained commitment, and transformative action. It requires self-awareness, faith, courage, authenticity, and vision. It demands that every choice, interaction, and endeavor reflect the mission entrusted to you. Impacting the lives of others is a natural consequence of this alignment, extending the reach of your calling beyond personal fulfillment to communal and generational influence. A life of purpose is marked not by the absence of challenge, but by deliberate action, resilience, and unwavering focus on meaningful outcomes. Those who embrace a purpose-driven life understand that their legacy is shaped by consistent action, thoughtful influence, and the courage to remain aligned with their calling. Every decision matters, every effort counts, and every interaction carries the potential to inspire, transform, or guide. Purpose is not passive. It is lived, demonstrated, and extended through intentional effort. Impact is not accidental. It is cultivated, nurtured, and expanded through deliberate engagement with the world. Those who live with clarity, commitment, and faith not only fulfill their spiritual assignment, but create a ripple effect of transformation that extends far beyond themselves, touching lives, communities, and even generations to come. In essence, a purpose-driven life is a life lived intentionally, courageously, and impactfully. It is the intersection of personal alignment and communal influence, where every step toward fulfillment creates opportunity for others to rise, learn, and be inspired. By embracing purpose, cultivating resilience, and contributing meaningfully, you ensure that your life leaves an enduring mark, fulfilling both the calling of your soul and the needs of those who encounter your influence. Purpose-driven living is the clearest evidence that your spiritual assignment is real, and the impact of your life demonstrates the depth, reach, and significance of that calling. Sustaining spiritual energy and maintaining a deep connection with the source of your purpose is essential for anyone walking a spiritual assignment. The path of divine calling is filled with challenges, responsibilities, and constant opportunities to give and serve. Yet, it is not a journey that can be sustained through human strength alone. Energy, focus, and clarity are necessary to fulfill your mission, and these are replenished through practices that nurture the spirit, sharpen discernment, and restore alignment. Without intentional maintenance of spiritual vitality, even the most determined individual may find themselves drained, distracted, or disconnected from their calling. Sustaining spiritual energy is therefore not optional. It is a foundational requirement for longevity, effectiveness, and fulfillment in purpose-driven living. Spiritual energy is closely tied to connection. The deeper your connection with your inner guidance and the divine source of your assignment, the more vibrant and resilient your spiritual energy becomes. Connection is cultivated through intentional practices that quiet the mind, attune the soul, and open the heart to guidance, inspiration, and replenishment. It is the recognition that your strength, insight, and endurance are not solely products of effort or intellect, but flows of energy and wisdom that are accessible when you are aligned and receptive. The act of sustaining connection is a daily commitment, a conscious choice to prioritize the spiritual over the trivial, the eternal over the temporary, and the meaningful over the distracting. One of the most important practices for sustaining spiritual energy is prayer and meditation. These disciplines create space for reflection, renewal, and communication with the divine. Prayer is not merely a request for support or solutions. It is an intentional alignment of your heart and mind with the source of your calling. Meditation quiets the chatter of the mind, allowing intuition, clarity, and inner wisdom to surface. Both practices provide opportunities to release burdens, gain perspective, and replenish the energy that is often depleted by the demands of service, responsibility, and worldly engagement. Those who integrate regular prayer and meditation into their lives report a sense of peace, focus, and resilience that sustains them through challenges. Reflection and journaling are also critical to maintaining spiritual vitality. The act of writing down thoughts, experiences, and insights allows you to process emotions, evaluate decisions, and discern patterns in your spiritual journey. Reflection helps you recognize areas where energy is being drained unnecessarily, identify moments of growth, and cultivate awareness of your alignment with purpose. Journaling becomes both a mirror and a compass, a mirror that shows where you are and a compass that points to where you need to go. By consistently engaging in reflection, you create a rhythm of renewal that sustains focus, nurtures clarity, and strengthens your connection to your spiritual assignment. Spiritual energy is influenced by the company you keep. Relationships that support, encourage, and inspire contribute to vitality, while toxic or draining connections deplete it. Those who are deeply committed to purpose recognize the importance of community, mentorship, and accountability in sustaining energy. Surrounding yourself with individuals who share values, understand the significance of your calling, and provide honest reflection creates a network of support that reinforces resilience. At the same time, it is necessary to establish boundaries with influences that distract, drain, or diminish your sense of purpose. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is a spiritual discipline that ensures your mission can be pursued with clarity, strength, and focus. The management of physical energy is inseparable from spiritual vitality. The body is the vessel through which spiritual purpose is expressed, and neglecting physical well-being diminishes spiritual endurance. Adequate rest, proper nutrition, and regular physical activity contribute to the energy necessary for consistent spiritual engagement. A tired, depleted, or unhealthy body restricts the capacity to pray, reflect, serve, and act effectively. Those who recognize the interconnection between physical and spiritual energy prioritize practices that restore vitality, creating a holistic approach to sustaining connection with purpose. Energy is sustained not only through spiritual discipline, but also through the careful stewardship of the body that carries your assignment. Faith and trust in divine guidance are central to sustaining spiritual energy. When challenges arise, when opposition is strong, or when fatigue sets in, maintaining belief in the higher order of your calling provides strength. Scripture reminds us in Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This assurance is not a promise of effortless progress, but a reminder that your strength is replenished through connection with the source of your assignment. Faith provides endurance, fortifies resilience, and restores energy when the demands of purpose seem overwhelming. Sustaining spiritual connection requires trust that the energy you need will be made available when you align with your mission and act in accordance with guidance. Regular retreat and solitude are essential practices for renewal. The demands of purpose often pull the individual outward towards service, responsibility, and action. Without intentional moments of withdrawal, energy becomes depleted, clarity diminishes, and connection weakens. Retreat does not imply avoidance of responsibility. It is a deliberate act of restoration, a pause that allows the soul to reconnect with its source. Solitude provides the opportunity to listen deeply, to recharge, and to reassess priorities. It reminds the individual that sustained impact is contingent upon sustained alignment and replenished energy. Those who embrace retreat as part of their spiritual discipline maintain focus, resilience, and the capacity to act with purpose over the long term. Gratitude and acknowledgement of progress also sustain spiritual energy. Purpose-driven work often involves long-term goals, delayed results, and ongoing effort. It is easy to become discouraged when immediate outcomes are not visible. Gratitude shifts the perspective from what is lacking to what has been achieved, from frustration to appreciation. Acknowledging small victories, lessons learned, and moments of alignment provides motivation, reinforces commitment, and replenishes energy. Gratitude creates a positive feedback loop, reminding the soul of the significance of the journey, the validity of the calling, and the impact of sustained effort. Service itself is both a demand and a source of energy. Engaging in acts of contribution, mentorship, and guidance reinforces connection with purpose and energizes the soul. When service aligns with your calling, it becomes a source of inspiration rather than depletion. The key is discernment. Energy is replenished when service is intentional, meaningful, and in alignment with your gifts and mission. Indiscriminate or unsustainable service, however, leads to burnout and disconnection. Those who sustain spiritual energy understand the balance between giving and replenishing, ensuring that their contributions remain impactful without diminishing vitality. Spiritual disciplines such as study, prayer, and reflection provide frameworks for sustaining energy and connection. Engaging regularly with teachings, principles, and wisdom that resonate with your assignment reinforces alignment, strengthens understanding, and deepens clarity. Continuous learning nurtures growth, keeps the mind and spirit engaged, and prevents stagnation. Study and reflection are not merely intellectual exercises. They are acts of spiritual replenishment that sharpen discernment, cultivate insight, and maintain the vibrancy necessary to act with purpose and impact. Mindfulness and presence are critical to sustaining energy. The ability to remain fully engaged in the moment, to act intentionally, and to avoid distraction conserves energy and enhances focus. When attention is scattered, spiritual vitality is diluted, clarity diminishes, and connection weakens. Those who cultivate mindfulness develop the capacity to channel energy toward meaningful action, sustain commitment through challenges, and maintain alignment with purpose. Presence ensures that every moment contributes to the fulfillment of the calling rather than being wasted in inattention or reaction. Sustaining spiritual energy also involves discernment in the pursuit of opportunities. Not every task, request, or project contributes meaningfully to your purpose. Energy is finite, and the allocation of attention and effort must be intentional. Those with spiritual assignments learn to prioritize, to say no when necessary, and to direct resources toward activities that align with mission and values. This deliberate allocation of energy ensures that the soul remains vibrant, the mission is advanced, and impact is maximized. Discernment preserves vitality by preventing overextension and maintaining focus on what truly matters. Forgiveness and release are integral to sustaining energy. Emotional burdens, resentment, and unresolved conflicts drain the soul and obscure connection. Letting go of grudges, releasing past disappointments, and cultivating forgiveness restores spiritual vitality. Those who maintain connection understand that energy is replenished when the heart is free from heaviness, bitterness, or distraction. Emotional clarity allows the soul to act from a place of abundance, inspiration, and alignment rather than depletion and reaction. Release is not passive. It is an intentional act of restoration that sustains energy and strengthens purpose. Accountability and spiritual mentorship further reinforce energy and connection. Being guided by those who understand, support, and challenge your assignment ensures that focus is maintained and alignment is preserved. Mentors provide insight, perspective, and encouragement, helping to prevent depletion and maintaining clarity in decision-making. Accountability structures prevent drift, support discipline, and reinforce consistent engagement with practices that sustain vitality. Those who leverage guidance intentionally find their energy renewed through shared wisdom and affirmation. Sustaining spiritual energy also involves balance between effort and rest. Purpose-driven work demands diligence, perseverance, and resilience, yet continuous exertion without restoration leads to burnout. Recognizing the necessity of rest, reflection, and spiritual renewal is a discipline in itself. Balance ensures that energy is available for sustained impact, that clarity is preserved, and that the connection to the source of your calling remains vibrant. Rest is not withdrawal from purpose, it is preparation, replenishment, and the cultivation of strength to continue the journey effectively. Ultimately, sustaining spiritual energy and connection is a lifelong practice. It requires intentionality, discipline, and the recognition that energy is both a resource and a reflection of alignment. Those who prioritize connection, cultivate disciplines, nurture relationships, and maintain clarity of purpose experience sustained vitality, resilience, and the capacity to act with consistent impact. Spiritual energy is the fuel of fulfillment, and connection is the source of replenishment. Together, they ensure that the calling entrusted to your life can be pursued with clarity, courage, and enduring influence. Sustained energy and connection transform not only your capacity to fulfill your assignment, but also the quality of the life you lead. It allows you to engage challenges with calm, opportunities with discernment, and relationships with depth. It ensures that your actions reflect the best of your gifts, that your service resonates meaningfully, and that your presence contributes to the world in alignment with purpose. Those who master the art of sustaining energy and connection find that life itself becomes a source of renewal, inspiration, and fulfillment, creating a continuous cycle of impact that sustains both the self and others. In essence, sustaining spiritual energy and connection is the foundation upon which the effectiveness of a spiritual assignment rests. It requires consistent attention, reflection, and practice, yet the rewards are profound: clarity in purpose, resilience through challenges, vibrancy in action, and the ability to extend influence with consistency and integrity. By cultivating these disciplines, maintaining alignment, and prioritizing restoration, you ensure that your life remains a powerful testament to the calling entrusted to you, capable of enduring the trials of the journey while creating lasting impact. Dear child of God, your journey of recognizing and fulfilling your spiritual assignment is both challenging and profoundly rewarding. Throughout this book, we have explored the signs that indicate you were born with a purpose greater than yourself. Signs such as a heart for service, frequent tests, strong inner guidance, restlessness in mediocrity, and a drive to impact the lives of others. Each part has shown that these signs are not coincidences, but divine indicators pointing to a life meant for transformation, contribution, and alignment with a higher calling. Walking this path requires courage, clarity, faith, and resilience, yet the rewards are far beyond what the world can measure. Purpose-driven living transforms not only your life, but the lives of those around you. It brings fulfillment, clarity, and an enduring sense of meaning. Sustaining spiritual energy and connection ensures that your calling does not fade under the weight of opposition, distraction, or fatigue. Through prayer, reflection, meditation, intentional service, and alignment with divine guidance, you create a life that is vibrant, purposeful, and impactful. The more you nurture your connection with your source, the more your life becomes a conduit of influence, inspiration, and transformation. Your spiritual assignment is not just a gift to yourself, it is a blessing to the world. As you ponder on this, we invite you to take a moment to commit your life fully to your purpose. Take this prayer as a starting point. Return to it often and let it anchor your journey. Your spiritual assignment is alive, and today is the perfect day to step into it fully. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you today with a heart that seeks alignment with your divine will. I acknowledge that every breath I take, every talent I possess, and every opportunity that comes my way is a gift from you. Lord, strengthen me to walk in the fullness of the purpose you have ordained for my life. Let my steps be directed by your wisdom, my actions guided by your love, and my decisions anchored in your truth. I pray that I may recognize every sign, every prompting, and every nudge from your Spirit that confirms the path you have set before me. Renew my heart when I grow weary, restore my vision when it becomes clouded, and fill me with the courage to move forward even when the journey feels uncertain. Father, grant me the discernment to identify and embrace my spiritual assignments without hesitation or fear. Help me to distinguish between distractions and divine direction, between fleeting desires and eternal purpose. Let your Spirit guide me in every choice, illuminating the path that will lead to transformation, impact, and service. Teach me, Lord, to listen attentively to the quiet whisper of your guidance, to trust the inner nudges that come from you, and to act with confidence even when the outcome is not yet visible. Remove doubt from my heart and fill me with unwavering faith that your plans for me are for good, to prosper me, and to equip me to bless others abundantly. Lord, I pray for endurance in the face of trials and opposition. Strengthen me when challenges arise, and let every test serve to refine my character, deepen my wisdom, and increase my resilience. Protect me from discouragement, fatigue, and spiritual depletion. May I rise above fear, remain steadfast in prayer, and continue to pursue my calling with unwavering determination. Equip me, Father, with the perseverance to overcome every obstacle, the patience to wait for your perfect timing, and the courage to stand firm in the promises you have spoken over my life. Let every challenge become an opportunity for growth, every setback a lesson in reliance on you, and every opposition a reminder of your faithfulness. Gracious God, I pray that my life be a reflection of your glory. May my actions, words, and intentions align with the principles of your kingdom. Teach me to serve with humility, to give without expecting return, and to love without condition. Let my influence touch lives in ways that bring hope, healing, and inspiration. Use me, Lord, as a vessel to impact those around me, to mentor, guide, and uplift those who are lost, weary, or seeking direction. Let my spiritual assignment not only fulfill me, but bring transformation to families, communities, and even generations. Show me where to invest my energy so that it produces lasting fruit for your kingdom. Father, I ask for clarity and purpose. Remove confusion from my mind and hesitation from my heart. Let me not drift in mediocrity or settle for comfort at the expense of destiny. Align my desires with your plans, my thoughts with your wisdom, and my actions with your will. Strengthen my inner guidance system so that I may discern truth from deception, right from wrong, and opportunity from distraction. Protect me from influences that would divert me from my assignment and surround me with encouragement, accountability, and inspiration. Let every decision I make be in harmony with the calling you have placed upon my life. Lord, I pray for a steadfast connection with you. Keep me rooted in prayer, reflection, and meditation on your word. Let my spiritual energy be renewed daily as I spend time in your presence. Restore my soul when it feels weary, refresh my mind when it is burdened, and ignite my spirit with renewed passion for service and purpose. Teach me to cultivate discipline in my spiritual practices, to seek you first in all things, and to prioritize communion with you above temporary concerns or worldly distractions. May my connection with you be the source of strength that sustains me, the light that guides me, and the foundation upon which I build my life. Lord, I pray for courage to step into the assignments you have prepared for me. Remove fear, insecurity, and doubt from my heart. Let me move boldly in the direction of purpose, trusting that you are already paving the way. Protect me from procrastination and hesitation, and ignite a fire within me to act with intention, clarity, and confidence. Equip me with wisdom to navigate challenges, grace to respond to opposition, and discernment to recognize the opportunities that align with your calling. Let courage, faith, and obedience define my journey as I fulfill the assignment you have placed before me. Heavenly Father, I pray for protection over my mind, body, and spirit. Shield me from negativity, spiritual attacks, and distractions that could diminish my effectiveness. Strengthen my resilience so that I may persevere through trials without compromise. Guard my heart against weariness and discouragement, and fill it with hope, joy, and confidence in your promises. Let my faith be unwavering, my vision clear, and my energy renewed, so that I may continue to serve, impact, and walk in alignment with your purpose. Surround me with divine favor, wisdom, and insight, and let every step I take reflect your presence and guidance. Lord, I ask for guidance in sustaining my spiritual energy over the long journey. Teach me to balance rest and activity, reflection and action, giving and receiving. Let me be mindful of my energy, protecting it while also using it fully to fulfill my assignment. Renew my spirit when I feel depleted, refresh my mind when it becomes distracted, and invigorate my heart when it grows weary. Let me draw from your eternal source of strength so that I may continue to act with clarity, effectiveness, and influence. May my energy always reflect the power of your Spirit, sustaining me through challenges and enabling me to extend your light to others. Father, I pray for wisdom in impacting the lives of others. Let my influence be positive, transformative, and aligned with your will. Teach me to discern the needs of those I serve, to offer guidance with humility, and to empower others to discover their own purpose. Let my life be a testimony of your faithfulness, an example of service, and a source of encouragement to those walking their own spiritual paths. Strengthen my ability to mentor, inspire, and guide with compassion and clarity. May every interaction reflect your love and contribute to the greater good. Lord, I pray for perseverance in maintaining alignment with my calling. Let me not grow weary in doing good, even when the results are not immediately visible. Help me to trust in your timing, rely on your guidance, and remain steadfast in faith. Strengthen me to continue walking the path you have set, with purpose in my heart, energy in my spirit, and clarity in my mind. Let my perseverance inspire others, demonstrate faith in action, and fulfill the assignment you have entrusted to me. Finally, Father, I pray for gratitude and humility in every step of this journey. Let me never take my assignment for granted, nor assume that my abilities are my own. May I always recognize your hand in my life, your guidance in my decisions, and your presence in every moment. Let gratitude shape my perspective, humility guide my actions, and love define my interactions. May my life reflect your glory, my actions reflect your wisdom, and my journey be a testimony of your faithfulness. Let my prayers, my service, and my influence always honor you. Heavenly Father, I commit this prayer to you, trusting that as I seek you and follow your guidance, my spiritual assignment will be fulfilled. Strengthen me, equip me, and sustain me in every step. Fill me with courage, clarity, wisdom, and joy. Let my life impact others positively, glorify your name, and reflect the purpose for which I was created. May your Spirit continually renew me, guide me, and empower me to walk boldly, love deeply, and serve faithfully. Amen. Praise the Lord. If this message reminded you of Jesus' power and love, type Amen to declare it. Click on the left for another inspiring word, and subscribe so you can continue this journey with us. Stay blessed.